Hello, Discovery. We're here for a little fireside chat, except today we're not in the fireplace room. We're actually filming this in the lobby of our basement space where a lot of our children's ministry and student ministry activity happens throughout the course of a week here at Discovery. And I'm here with a couple of different guests today. One is Jake Brown. Jake is our impressions pastor. So handles communications, our online services, hospitality, those sorts of ministries here at the church. And then I'm also here with Kelsey Reed, who's our children's pastor. And we're talking today about one of our favorite topics, and probably yours as well. And of course, it's COVID. On Friday afternoon, as you guys know, Broomfield was issuing a public health announcement requiring schools and childcare centers to implement mask requirements for children under a certain age and for the people who work with them. So the reaction here, of course, was, this is a direction we were hoping not to have to move in terms of considering, kind of reinstituting masks and requirements, but here we are. So let's talk a little bit about how we make these decisions and how we've been taking advice or announcements like this in the past, and what it means for kids at our church moving forward here.
Yeah, so in general, part of our strategy is we keep an eye on what the CDC and specifically what Adams 12 does with their students. We've used Adams 12 kind of as a litmus test for the past for when we cancel programs, when we've canceled youth group in the past due to weather, when we make decisions. And so because many of our students fall in the Adams 12 school district, following in line with what they're doing has been something that we've done pretty often. We also, though, especially with COVID, have kind of taken a wait and see approach and taken kind of the requirements and expectations and then just evaluating them. And once we start seeing it spread more and more people moving towards these masks, that tells us that as a group that looks out for the vulnerable population, it's really important that we fall in line with that as well.
So I know, Kelsey, this is, you and I have talked about this, and it feels really challenging because we're sort of singling out. It feels like one way of looking at it could be that we're singling out a population in our church and having them have requirements that the rest of us don't have. But I just wanted to key in on something Jake said there, was this idea of a vulnerable population.
Yeah, we have a huge heart for the kids here at Discovery, and we want to create a space where they feel safe and comfortable to come and grow in their faith and learn more about Jesus. And so we're going to start requiring masks for preschool and elementary kids inside the building here at Discovery, as well as all of our children's ministry volunteers will also be required to wear a mask while serving with kids.
So when you're saying inside the building, like, we're not just talking about the basement, we're talking if a fourth grader is going to sit in the auditorium with their folks for a service.
Yep, we'll ask that they wear masks as well.
Okay. Well, I think, it's never easy to make these kinds of calls, and this season has challenged all of us, but we really appreciate the work that's done to develop our kids and the programs that we have for them and keeping them safe. So thank you so much for that and for your leadership there, Kelsey. And we just want to also remind adults, like, this is a different time where this Delta variant has created a whole new level of concern in our community, and we want to be sensitive to that. We, again, not a big fan of what feels like maybe moving backwards, but all of this, I think, is moving us forward to the end of this somehow. So keeping each other safe is important.
We'll be updating every single Friday on our website, dc2.me/COVID, Because I think one of the most exhausting parts of the last year has been what's felt like moving targets. Like it feels like we settle in and then things change, and we recognize that. And so we want to keep you up to date with exactly what we're thinking. So every Friday, there'll be an update on our website on where we're at, what our policies are, what we're doing. And I want to reiterate something I said earlier. We don't make these changes lightly. We're just doing our best to protect the vulnerable.
Yeah, early on in the pandemic, we thought we knew that that was a specific population, maybe older people. It was people with immunocompromised sort of conditions. And now here's a kind of a whole new realm where we're saying, hey, the vulnerable that we're looking to protect right now is kids who are too young to even get a vaccine, who are in public schools and private schools or homeschooled, but you know they're exposed to a lot of people, and we just want to minimize that and make this a safe place for them as well.
Well, thank you for your time, and we appreciate you joining us in what is not a great announcement, but it's something we're trying to move through.